Hello, this is Lolly, and I am opening my Canvo from Catherine Pooler, and this is a bullet journal, and this will be the first in my series of bullet journaling. So the purpose of a bullet journal, I will give you a link down below to the person who invented or came up with the idea of bullet journaling. It's supposed to be a way of organizing your life, and you can put your to-do lists on one page, and you can put your monthly calendar on one page. And if you then you start, this is like you could say these are the books that I want to read, and then you do another thing here and you realize, oh, I'm at the end here, I need to continue my list. So you can say follow through on page 15, and that's where you can continue the books you want to read. So it's just a place of organizing all your lists and doing it in a creative way. My personal choice is that I'm thinking I want this to be more of a permanent book for me that I would definitely keep and refer to. So my lists are going to be lists that I want to refer to again and revisit this book. And so my monthly spread, usually you could put like January here, and you can put all the calendar blocks for each day. And you can write appointments in there if you wish. What I'm going to do is use my monthly spreads for birth dates, because I feel like I want to have them in here. So I'm going to put the all the dates here and put the birthdays on each one. I think it'll be a great, beautiful way of keeping track of birthdays of my family and friends. And then I'm not going to use it necessarily for to-do lists like get groceries, do the ironing, and those sort of things that I don't want to keep a permanent record of. So I will use it for other lists like videos that I want to make, crafts that I want to try, and things like that. Little more long enduring lists such as that. So when I start off here, I am going to do, so this is the first page, I wrote my name on here. This is going to be my table of contents. Now, I started to watch some bullet journaling videos beyond the one that had the introduction to it. And I started to watch it, and I decided not to, because after watching part of two videos, because I thought these are two completely different people. They're doing exactly the same things. That's not where I want to go. I want to invent my own style, and I don't want to be influenced by watching how everyone is doing it, because there is no right or wrong. And so the first thing I'm going to start off with is a table of contents, and that is going to be my list as to what's on each page. So this is obviously page 1. So page 2 would be the first page that I am going to actually start my list, or this could be January's, birthdays. And so this is where it goes in the table of contents. I did note that I saw some people have been using this and calling it index. That is not actually a correct use of the term, because table of contents is at the beginning of the book telling you what page items can be located. The back of the book is where you would put an index, and that's by looking up a keyword, like the keyword journal, and it would have all the pages that word would be on. Okay, this is going to be my table of contents. I sketched out, and this is the benefit of having these dots here, is that using those dots, I am able to draw more easily, because I can see where I'm headed with this. So I am going to trace over what I did here. So now we can see, and I'm just going to shade that in. The nice thing about using these permanent markers, I am using Micron, and this is the 05. The nice thing about using permanent markers is that if you pencil in, because you're not really sure that you want to draw with permanent marker and make a mistake, you can always go back in afterward, and when it's dry and set, and erase all your pencil marks. So what I want to write on here is table of contents. Now, one of the things I tend to do is start writing and then run out of room and realize I'm going to say table of cont, and then I'm going to run out of room. So one of the things I can do is to sort of trace this onto another piece of paper and then use that as a guide to see how much room I have. And my pencil. I only need to trace this, basically the size of this. It doesn't have to be beautiful. And I'm just trying to get the length in here to see how big I can get on my font. Okay, I can see I can get bigger than that, so and I can see I can get even bigger than that. So that just kind of gives me an idea of where I'm headed with this. And I want to get my number 1 here. 1. There we go. Table of contents. So now if you have colored pencils or markers and you want to do some shading in here, that would be a great use of this as well. I have an 01 here, and what I'm going to do is just kind of add some little dash lines here as though it's shading the very end of this ribbon as it's going around, and under here. There we go. That adds a little bit of depth to that particular piece here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I think I will probably use the 05 for the writing on this. And I'm going to write, actually I might need the, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to pick a line here and say page, because this is the page number. There we go. And then I'm going to draw a little line here. There we go. This is a very slick ruler. There we go. And so I can come straight down now, and I don't have to necessarily draw grids here because I have all these dotted lines. I think I decided I want to do a double line here. And don't forget, you can always doodle on your page. So let's say I really like this double line, but I want to make it even a little more creative. I can just come in and do little hash marks in there. Almost looks like a candy cane. There we go. Okay, so my first page is going to be page 2. So I'm going to give myself a 2 and say that is going to be January birthdays. And then it's up to you to decide how this is going to roll. I can decide that January birthdays is only going to be on page 2, or it could be on page 2 and 3. So I can write 2 and 3, or just say 2 because that's the page it's starting on, which is fine for me. And then as time goes on, you might think about some other things that you want to do. You can always add color to your page. I'm going to come out here. I am going to be coloring this in as well. I have some stamps coming in that I want to use to make this layout here to do my January and start the birthdays. Okay, but I don't have to wait. I believe I am going to do a 2-page spread on that. So I know that if I have another idea, I can start on page 4 with my next section. And these are called collections. Yeah, they're called collections. A collection is a list of something. So books I want to read, movies I want to see, books I am reading, you know, things I want to learn to do. Those are all each called a collection. So this will be my January birthday collection right there. So thank you so much for watching. Glad you're watching and keeping along. And like I said, I've started a whole new playlist just for bullet journaling.